demigod of the wind and sea.
Hero of men.
Huh?
Women.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moana live action remake just flopped, but I don't think it flopped because of the reason most people are saying.
What are you saying, man?
After looking at the box office, the reviews, and the audience reactions, I think the real reason audiences stayed home is actually much simpler. I'll be honest, I expected the movie to do a lot better, not necessarily because I thought it was going to be an incredible film, but because it's Moana. The original is one of Disney's biggest modern animated movies. People still stream it all the time. The soundtrack is still incredibly popular, and it's become one of Disney's strongest brands. So when Disney announced a live action remake, I thought it would probably be an easy box office win. Instead, opening week told a very different story. And the question I kept asking myself wasn't, did people hate this movie? It was, why didn't they go see it in the first place? The more I looked at it, the more I realized I kept coming back to some of the same few reasons. And the biggest one, in my opinion, is something Disney probably didn't expect. This is the biggest reason for me. I don't think people skipped this movie because they stopped caring about Moana. I think they skipped it because they already love the original so much. Whenever I go back and watch the animated movie, I'm reminded of how well it still holds up today. The animation still looks beautiful, the songs are still amazing, the story still works. Nothing about it feels old. So every time I watched a trailer for the live action version, I found myself asking, what am I getting here that I don't already have? And honestly, I never felt like Disney answered that question. If I was asking it, I wouldn't be surprised if millions of other people were asking it too. This is where I really started to lose interest. Every new trailer looked fine, but I never really felt excited. I never finished watching one and thought, I need to see this opening weekend. Instead, I kept thinking about how much I liked the animated movie. Personally, I think that's where the marketing missed the mark. It reminded me of how good the original was, instead of convincing me why this version deserved my money. And if that's how I felt, I imagine a lot of casual moviegoers felt the exact same way. Because if people aren't excited, they're probably just gonna wait until it hits Disney+. And you know, the more I thought about this movie, the more I realized I don't think this is only about Moana. I think Disney has trained audiences to ask a different question now. Years ago, if Disney announced a live action remake, people got excited. Today, I think people ask, why should I watch this instead of the original? Honestly, I know that's the first question I ask now. I'm not against remakes. If someone comes up with a fresh idea, I'll absolutely give it a chance. But if it looks almost identical to the animated version, I'm probably going to stay home. And I think a lot of audiences have reached the same point. Another thing I couldn't ignore was the discussion surrounding the movie before it even came out. Everywhere I looked, people were debating something: the casting, the costumes they chose, the visuals, and whether Disney should keep making these remakes. Now, I'm not saying these debates alone caused the movie to underperform, but I do think they changed the conversation. Instead of seeing people counting down the days until release, I mostly saw people arguing. And personally, I think excitement sells tickets. Arguments, they usually don't. This is the part I really found interesting. Once people actually started seeing the movie, the reactions weren't nearly as negative as I expected.
Interesting.
Sure, not everyone loved it, but plenty of people thought it was enjoyable. That made me realize something. Maybe Disney's biggest problem wasn't making a movie people hated. Maybe their biggest problem was making a movie people didn't feel they needed to see. To me, those are two completely different issues. I honestly think Moana is a warning sign. Not because Disney can never make another remake, but because I think audiences expect more now. Personally, I don't think nostalgia is enough anymore. If I'm paying theater prices, I want something that feels fresh. I want a new experience. I want a reason to leave my house. If a remake can't give me that, I'm probably going to watch the original instead. And judging by the box office, I don't think I'm alone. At the end of the day, I don't think Moana flopped because people suddenly stopped loving Moana. I actually think they love the original more than ever. I think that's exactly what made this remake such a difficult sell. For me, it came down to 4 things. The original still feels timeless. The marketing never convinced me that the remake was necessary. I think audiences are becoming tired of live action remakes that don't offer enough that's new. And I think more people are asking whether a movie is worth seeing in theaters instead of waiting for streaming. Those are just my thoughts. But now I want to hear yours. Why do you think audiences stayed home? Do you agree with me? Or do you think something completely different caused this movie to struggle? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.